Fight me, Lestat. Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire has finally been put in the hands of queer people. The production is gorgeous, the lead characters are queer and gorgeous, the sex is hot, and the dialogue drenches us in prose. Roland Jones, the creator of the series and the writer for the first 2 episodes, is a Pulitzer Prize nominated dramatist, and it shows. Hey y'all, I'm Wilson Peak, and I review mostly LGBTQIA+ movies and series. I'm reviewing episodes 1 and 2 of AMC's Interview with the Vampire, and we'll be checking in weekly as new episodes appear on Sunday nights until the finale on November 13th. This is a spoiler-free review. It's the year 2022. The vampire Louis de Pointe lives in Dubai. He's being interviewed by a renowned gonzo journalist in poor health. Louis' story begins in the early 20th century in New Orleans and follows his relationship with the vampire Lestat and their family, which will ultimately include their teen fledgling Claudia. Together, they will endure immortality in New Orleans and beyond. Until now, adaptations of Anne Rice's work have never lived up to my expectations, but I love this series more than the book. In the book, Louis was a Louisiana plantation owner. In the AMC series, he is the Creole owner of a successful brothel and a self-professed homosexual. The vampire Lestat is also queer, and therefore their connection is much stronger. Changing Louis' racial identity and clarifying his sexuality brings a depth and emotional truth to this story that otherwise would have been sorely lacking. This is what adaptations are supposed to do: elevate the source material. Thankfully, the series does not strictly adhere to the novel. The series alters the timeline, replaces the lame homoeroticism of Neil Jordan's film with hot gay sex, and changes the racial identity of Louis. Roland Jones said he knew there would be haters, but he insisted that the series is wildly reverential to the spirit and prose of the book. And I agree with him 100%. And AMC agrees. The series has already been renewed for a 2nd season. Roland Jones' Interview with the Vampire is the natural evolution of Anne Rice's novel. There is absolutely no need to go back to the straight boy film version directed by Neil Jordan and starring Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was always wrong for the role of Lestat, and Sam Reed proves that. Sam Reed has animal magnetism. The character's name is Lestat de Lioncourt. So just to be clear, there is no need to ever watch Tom Cruise's Lestat. His version has been rendered impotent. This new series is all the Interview with the Vampire you will ever need. The one thing I'll complain about, and I know it's inherent to the story, but I really wish we could just watch the story of Louis, Lestat, and Claudia unfold and not have the tiresome framing device of a white, world-weary journalist. But the character does allow us another perspective, and anytime the series gets too philosophical, we get some over-the-top gore, some super hot butts, and succulent, snappy dialogue that you can really sink your teeth into. Interview with the Vampire is a perfect realization of the novel. I do have 1 or 2 issues with the first 2 episodes, but on the whole, I adore where the series is going, and I honestly can't wait until the creators abandon the novel's plotline. In episode 1, In Throes of Increasing Wonder, see the episode titles are even literate. In episode 1, Louis meets the vampire Lestat, and his life unravels. Louis' story begins in 1910 in New Orleans. He is a successful brothel proprietor in the city's Storyville district, also known as the Red Light District. Louis is a respected black business owner, but he's still expected to say sir at the end of his sentences when he's doing business or playing cards with white men. Louis loves his community and his somewhat difficult family. And this is where I truly loved the new direction of Interview with the Vampire. Louis' family, his domineering mother, his overly religious brother, and his adoring sister. They truly humanize Louis, and turning Louis from the novel's restless white plantation owner into an ambitious homosexual black man creates a much more powerful story about transformation and identity in our society, which ultimately honors and elevates Anne Rice's novel. Here, Louis is torn between his dreams and his reality, a reality in which his white investors will never see him as an equal, and his homosexuality will always keep him in the shadows. So when Lestat promises a life in which Louis' blackness and his queerness will not kill him or his ambitions, Louis accepts. This Interview with the Vampire creates a powerful, lusty relationship between Louis and Lestat, while maintaining a campy humor whenever things get too serious. It's not scary, but it can definitely be disturbing. Jacob Anderson is fantastic as the lusty, tormented, ambitious Louis, while Sam Reed erases any memory of Tom Cruise as Lestat. Sam Reed is Anne Rice's Lestat as written. He's hot, charismatic, a snob, but he is not infallible. His personality has been warped by decades of loneliness, but that has only sharpened his killer instincts. These two are clearly destined for one another. These two and the excellent super snarky Eric Bogosian as Daniel Molloy establish the dark, campy humor of the series. Ray Dong Chong is absolutely riveting as Louis' domineering mother. Stephen Norfleet is magnificent as his very religious, unstable younger brother, while Kaylin Coleman is outstanding as his beloved sister Grace. In episode 2, After the Phantoms of Your Former Self, Louis begins his life as a vampire and learns the rules of vampirism from his maker and companion Lestat. And he reveals more of his modern-day vampire lifestyle to the interviewer, Daniel Molloy. The episode felt a little more predictable, with a plot line that mirrors one of Hannibal Lecter's. I understand why killing bad musicians is the height of snobbery, but episode 2 felt a little bit sluggish due to a familiar narrative, because we've seen this before. Although I did not love episode 2, it made me yearn for future episodes and the introduction of the bratty vampire Claudia, which should happen very soon. The series, co-executive produced by Rice's son Christopher and created by Roland Jones, feels fresh and unpredictable right from the start. A love story that would be transfixing even without the vampiric elements. In addition to the producing, writing, and directing, the detailed production design, impeccable costumes, and beautiful cinematography are all top-notch. This is the Interview with the Vampire that queer people have been waiting on and deserve. I give the first 2 episodes of Interview with the Vampire 4 stars, and I'm so thankful it's been renewed for season 2. We can embrace this series, and AMC has plans to create 5 new series in the Anne Rice Immortals universe over the next decade. Mayfair Witches with Alexandra Daddario from The White Lotus premieres in 2023, and Mayfair Witches is from the same production team as Interview with the Vampire. I do believe the LGBTQIA+ has a lot to look forward to on AMC+. All right, y'all. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. And until next time, always remember, living well is the best revenge.